Hello and welcome to part one of Llama Trek. I'm George Coll, here to provide a three-part series, step by step on an 11 by 16 canvas. Before I get too much farther into this, I want to welcome YouTube and Uscreen people today. I'm doing my part ones with both formats, and I want to invite YouTube people, if you like what you see, come join me in Uscreen. It's a paid platform. It's very affordable, and I have all that information and address down below. Part one is block-in. And with block-in, I try to cover this canvas with shapes and then value colors. I didn't quite accomplish that. You can see I don't have the lake in or the sky in, but I think the figures slowed me up a little bit today, but we will get to that tomorrow. And so join me step by step. The other thing is get outside and paint. Plein air painting is painting from life is a real foundation of painting. What I provide is step-by-step instruction to help you solve these many problems that you may run into with painting. All right, with that, enough of me talking. Let's get to today's painting. All right, thanks for coming by. Hello and welcome to part one of a three-part series titled Llama Trek. And today, I'm George Coll, and I'm working with oils on 11 by 16 canvas tone. So I want to first just go over a few basics here. Today is block-in. We want to cover most, if not all, of this canvas with shapes and value colors. Shapes and value colors. I've got my basic palette of blue, red, yellow, and everything else is a support for those three colors. And that would be Naples, yellow, and cold gray. I also have some of my old favorites, my sienna family, raw and burnt sienna, viridian, and titanium white. I have a variety of brushes. I have flats and I have filberts. And I guess the biggest brush I have is an 8. Then I have, looks like a 6 and 4s and a worn out 4 filbert and a number 2. So those are the things I'm going to be using today, along with my old trusty T7 palette knife. All right, so today is Llama Trek, and with that, we're going to be doing a landscape with figures and animals. So this is going to be a fun challenge. So let's start off with the old normal way of getting some sort of a drawing color of blue and gray. Maybe a little bit of burnt in there. And a touch of lightener. A little bit more burnt. I encourage you to make a mixture that you feel is sufficient for you, not exactly what I'm mixing, but if you want to go with more burnt or more blue, that's perfectly all right. These are things that we're going to be covering later with other values. So whereas a foundation line, I think when I look at the reference, I see a mountain coming off here and going off to the side. I see a mountain in the background over here. But I might move that mountain down just a little bit, I think. And then the other thing is the figures. I think for this purpose, I'm going to figure out where this figure situation is going to be by drawing a triangle. If you really look at it, it's kind of like a 30, 60, 90 triangle. And I'm drawing it right there on my palette, see? And over here would be the figure, and then over here would be the llamas. This particular picture is up in the steamboat area on the Walden side with my wife and I some years back with our llamas. Our llamas are now geriatric llamas. They're kind of old guys, and I put them in retirement. I'm trying to figure out where the bottom of that triangle is going to be, and I'm going to, at least for purposes right now, going to put them over in this area right in here. So it's a little left of center. Now you can see my triangle. Now I do that because instead of getting into detail and all that right now with a figure, I really need to see if this triangle that I want to put the figures in is going to be too big or too large. I think I want to enlarge it a little bit, but I don't want to over enlarge it. So let's figure out where these trees are going to be. They come right down into the model, the figure I mean, and this is going to be trees right in here. And then we have a backdrop of trees that go above the foundation line and come down into the llamas. And then we kind of have this area here of trees and lakes down in here. And then we have some smaller trees, I think. I'll put some smaller trees down in here, in rocks and things like that. The other thing I think we want is a path coming this way and this way with a pile of rocks coming in down here. Okay, so that's the rough end for lines. Now I may adjust that as I go forward, but for now that's my best shot. All right, taking a second look, I'm gonna have this nice, we also have a few trees coming up here too. Now, your drawing might be like mine, where other people may not understand it as well as you do, but it's something that's making sense to you. So, with that, let's get a little bit more specific on the model. So I'm going to soften some of the lines around here because I want to make a darker mixture here. So I'm adding more blue and a little bit of burnt sienna. Blue, burnt sienna. Now, I think some ways to figure this is I'm going to increase the size of the figure just a little bit. And figure is going to be in this rectangle square right here. Okay, and then llama number 1, old cardamom. You see their heads are all about the same height. Card is going to be over here. He's kind of a potbelly old guy here with legs coming down this way. So you can see it's kind of basically an outline of a kind of a diamond shaped. So he's kind of got a body here with kind of a bow-legged fellow. That's what llamas do. And then he's got packs coming off. And then next to him is, I think that's Night Train. And he's going to be up in here. And he's going to basically be a same type of shape. With legs coming down also. And he's a little bit behind because he always likes to follow. With llamas, they kind of have a pecking order, and the head guy always goes first. So I think I need to raise the heads just a little bit. And that means I have to raise this rectangle just a little bit. All right, so let's get into the figure. And what we basically have is, I know we've got some arms coming off of here. So it goes out this way, from the shoulders, just a little bit, and then kind of a body section here. She's leaning forward. Jenny's leaning forward, my wife, with the ski pole type thing. She likes those as walkers. And then legs kind of come in this way. And then this goes out and in. So I'm just going to darken these legs right here. So they go in. Don't have the right angle on it. There we go. And this kind of goes in this way. And then I'll figure out that her head is low, so it's not going to be on top. It's kind of going to be down like that. And if you want to put arms on it, then just put these little knobs here with posts coming off here, and I think this is another pole coming off closer to the body in here somewhere. So that's how you kind of rough in a figure. So let's also figure in where Mr. Llama is going to be. And I know he's going to be darker down in this section with his bow legs here and head here. Of course, they have these crazy ears, and that will be him. And then Mr. Night Train will be over here. He likes to follow, but he likes to get out and see what's out, not just look at Cartman's butt. And we're going to put him somewhere in here. They also have these packs on. I carried my art supplies and camping equipment. Okay, so that is figures. So you can see they're a little bit bigger than what they really are in the photograph. And I am hoping that it's going to turn out just fine because of that. I've got this drawing color here spread out all over the place, so I'm going to reduce that to smaller size, put it off, and let's start working on background. So with that, I'm going to start with let me see if I have it's a pretty good brush. Let me get more of a beat up old brush. This is not a time to be breaking out your good brushes. Let's see here. This one's nice and beat up. It looks like a number 6. It's all frayed. So let's make a tree color. Let's get some darks. So we're going to get some blue and a little bit of yellow in it and some gray. Blue, blue, yellow, and cold gray, and a little bit of burnt sienna. Time to block in the area behind Jenny. This is kind of thin. Need to make it a little darker. This time I'm adding a little bit more blue and a little bit more burnt sienna. And add just a little bit of turp. Okay, good. It's a little bit darker the way I wanted it. And there's a big dark right next to Jenny. And there's darks that come right down to her. I'm leaving some room in the back for a background mountain. And there's a lot of darks pretty much around the boys, which I affectionately called the llamas. And I think we even have some smaller trees over here by cardamom or nitrate. Let's see, and I'm going to put a few more trees in here. There's also, I think, shadows with the boys. Okay, let's add more blue to this and some white and get some background trees. So that would be down in here. See, just by adding just a little bit of white, we can make things go back. In the color spectrum, as colors recede, the last to show their color is blue. I think I'll make it more of a slope here. And then behind that we have mountains. So I want to go a little, I'm going to use some of the same color we have here and put it in behind the trees here. And then I want to add more blue and white, a little bit of gray. And lighter still. I'm going to add some raw sienna to this. And more white. And more white. That does it. And just putting in a light gray type color, a bluey gray. Then I notice on the top of that mountain, it's got a more of a cliff area. And I'm going to add more blue to make it dark and add that to the ridge line. Oh, got some contamination in there already. I didn't make it dark enough. I added more blue. Here we go. Bang, bang. That does it. And I think we need some darks over in this area, generally. Now, we have a number of rocks in here, so let's make some rock shapes. I'm just going to go to some Naples with this dirty brush of mine. I had some contamination in it. And I'm going to start making some rock shapes just with, because I have this tone background. And I think we have some along the path here also. Make the rocks a little bigger as they come forward. And we have more rock piles in various places, giving the indication of slope. Now we have some sort of a, we got green here, so let's, green grass, so let's make some yellow, blue. Blue, ultra, yellow, lemon yellow. Threw a little gray in it, a little bit more gray. I don't want to bang it out too early and saying green. I want dull green for now. We can get some highlights on it later. And I think we have a little bit of green up there. And then we have some under the trees. And along the path. Okay, keeping mind full of my time. And now we need a lightener. So I think with that, I'm going to go with all these cool colors I have. I'm going to pick them up and throw them all over into my dark pile, maybe for use later. And I'm going to get ready for the foreground color, which will be next. So I'm working on glass, and that is very nice for cleaning quickly to go to the next step. So let's now make a foreground mixture. So let's go to sienna, which is way too dark, and Naples, yellow, Naples yellow, white, as you can see, I'm a little bit darker on one side, I'm a little bit lighter on the right side, because I see a couple variations in the painting, or I mean the reference. So now I'm going to have to leave that flared out one paintbrush, and I'm going to go with a little bit nicer, it's still a number 6 flat, and let's see if this is sufficient. It needs some gray in it. It's too dark. Great. So when I see that the color is too intense, I just knock it down with some gray, because nature is just full of this gray stuff. People think, well, there's a lot of green out there. Well, it's green grays, probably the majority of it. And I'm using a little bit darker here on the left side because it's angled away from the sun. And I'm going to use some on this side of the path. And then I'm going to go with the lighter stuff, and I'm going to add some gray to the lighter stuff also, just to get rid of that intensity. And you can see, oh, come on, a little bit more gray. That we have a different value on this side of the hill because it's getting more sun. Now, if these things are too dark or too light, we'll worry about that tomorrow when we do balance. And I want to get some lighter stuff in here. And I need to get some around Jenny. And as you can see, I'm pretty busy here filling in all these to get closer to the grass, and I'm going to stay pretty busy doing that. So with my remaining time, what I want to do is get a little bit closer, working closer with the figure. So I'm going to pull out some dark, throw in some green, I'm sorry, some yellow, and get a little gray in there. A little yellow, a little blue, a little yellow. And between the llamas we have some, I need to make that lighter. Added some white. And I'm getting some, defining my shapes by working around them. I'm cleaning the green out now, going to the gray, and I'm going to go to the lighter gray and put that in here. And work the magic. All right, Jenny has to be this way. I'm really looking back at my reference quite a bit to get the cues on how to get my model right. She's a little large, so I'm going to shrink her a little bit and bring up some lights here and some lights here. I think I need more dark on her. She's higher waisted because she's bent over, so I'm bringing in my gray that I have from the slot pile, and I kind of bring it up that way. And now she has kind of a, she's bent over, so she has some shade there, so I'm going to make some gray with a little bit of Naples in it. And not gray enough. I should be using a smaller brush, I know. And I'm going to get some raw sienna here and put that right there. And I'm going to use some of that raw sienna where her hands are, which would be here and here. I think I need to bring in some lighter stuff around her feet. And how am I doing on time? Oh boy, I'm going to do a little bit more work on the llamas. So let me get some raw sienna on cardamom. Cardamom, like the spice. And then a darker, I'll use some burnt around the rest of them. Burnt sienna. And then I'll even use some dark for his legs. Now, I know this is not a detailed thing here, but I just want to give the impression of these guys. Now I'm going to go over to Night Train and get his shape in. I need to get some real dark on the front of Jenny's head and some light on the back, so I'll use some gray. I overemphasize it, I know. And then we need some, I think some light blue for packs. So let's get some. I think we got a light blue right here. And another streak right here. And I think we've got olive green, or a real bright green for the packs here on the night train. So I just put just a hint for that, and the rest are real dark. And I will do the same for cardamom here. We affectionately call cardamom on the trail shithead because he is so stubborn at times. And they have a real dark face, both of them. And so we're going to put just a dark here, smudge it in somehow, and same with this guy. And there's some light, like light brown. I'm going to actually put a pink in here to show the sides of this llama here. And I think I could use some of this pink on Jenny's shirt. And I need a little bit more light right on her shoulders. And I'm just putting pure white with the edge of my number 6 here. And it kind of goes down here. And again, I really need some darker, dark here with Jenny's pants, because not only I think they're a dark olive green, but she's also in shadow. And when I am more certain of her, this goes out this way and then in. And then she has kind of this pointed area down here. And now I think we're starting to pick up a shape of hers. So you can kind of see it's a two-way process with the figures. One is to kind of, we started with a triangle and then we got more and more defined by working the outside shapes. And then coming in and working the inside shapes. And here's kind of working the outside. I think I'm just going to use a palette knife to do her poles later. Boy. And I'm just doing a little bit more defining of everybody. And this shadow goes up because it's the side of the hill. And then it starts going down. Now off camera, I'm going to be over here filling in my little gray areas with my lights and my greens. And that's what I'll be doing off camera because I've run out of time. But basically, we have run out of time. So with that, that is our block in for Llama Trek. Thank you very much, Uscreens. And I'm going to put this part 1 up on YouTube also later today because I put my part 1s up to introduce you all to my format. You can find part 2 and 3 on Uscreen, and you'll have the address down below. All right, thank you so much for coming by, and we'll see you in part 2. All right, bye-bye.